Hi, Future Tony here. This is a warning for Class Reunion Chat Room. This is a horror visual novel game that takes place in a chat room, and it contains descriptions of graphic violence and animal cruelty. If either one of those disturb you or make you uncomfortable, please exit the video now. If not, then without further ado, I present Class Reunion Chat Room. Just vibing with the music here. Sometimes I wonder why they keep the convenience store open that long. Just like last night and the night before, barely any customers came. Whatever, as long as I get paid. Looks like it started raining right when I got home. Guess I was lucky. Can't open the window and let fresh air in without getting my laptop wet, though. Alright, how should I kill time tonight? The big disadvantage of being awake when everyone else was asleep is that I had no one to chat with after getting home. Sometimes I'd play random games I'd find on the internet, or watch some movie. Unproductive stuff. Which is probably a bad habit considering I still hadn't figured out what direction to take my life in. Let's put on some music first. This is the perfect soundtrack for a chill, rainy night. Email. I barely ever get any emails. The store manager usually contacts me via SMS, and my friends via full chat. It's an email by Blaze Marktree. Blaze? Laze? Blaze? Blaze? We'll go with Blaze. I hadn't heard that name in forever. Blaze is an old classmate of mine. He was the smartest in our grade. No, probably the whole school. He also generally kept people at arm's length. I barely knew anything about him because of that. Why is he sending me an email? Dear Amy Waterfield, my name is Blaze Marktree. You might remember me from our shared time at school. Recently, a couple of past classmates and I decided it would be a great idea to catch up with everyone. This might serve as a great opportunity to reforge connections and to learn more about the paths everyone has taken. Ideally, this could result in an in-person reunion in the future. I have linked an invitation to a group chat that we created and invited all classmates to below. Note that you will need to install a free piece of chat software called Full Chat to participate. Don't hesitate to let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Yours sincerely, Blaze Marktree. This mail was oddly formal for an invitation to a class reunion chat. The way Blaze had worded it made it seem more like it was a business opportunity. Either way, this sounded like a great idea. Does it though? He's telling you to install random software from an email. That's not good. That's not IT safe. The only person I kept in touch with since leaving school was my best friend Liv. Generally, I did enjoy my time at school, and most people in my class were pretty cool. I'd also love to know what they were currently doing. Maybe they could give me some ideas for my future. Alright, it's settled. Time to join the group chat. Not that anyone would be online at this time of night. Seems like 3 other people aside from me have joined the chat so far. Blaze, someone called Gigi with a heart, and someone named Mike. Oh, Blaze is writing something. Seems he's still awake after all. Hello, Amy. It's nice to see you here. You're one of the first to join this group chat aside from us 3 who came up with the idea for this class reunion project. The purpose of this group chat is to catch up with our past classmates and to reforge connections. Let us know if you have any questions or concerns. You're the only one I know who writes such long paragraphs in full chat. And wasn't all that information already in the email? It never hurts to make sure that everyone is on the same page. Also, I would recommend spelling it email, as it is a compound made of the words electronic and mail. You don't write e-business or e-learning either, do you? Anyway, it's nice to meet you again, Amy. Heart! Nice to meet you as well. Oh, there. I have to hit spacebar to get a new chat to come up. I have to admit, I'm not fully sure whose names belong to who, though. I told you, using your full name as your chat name, or at least your full name, just like Amy, would make things a lot easier. But Gigi sounds way cuter. Oh, well. Anyway, I'm Angie. Ah! We hung out one time, if you still remember. Now that she mentioned it, we did hang out once. We weren't particularly close, though. Angie was someone who got along with everyone in our class, and who was always surrounded by a bunch of other girls. It was the same when we went shopping. She invited me directly, and I wasn't sure how to decline. I initially assumed we would go with a few people, but we ended up going with a group of 15. Hanging out with so many people at once was a bit much. I didn't dislike Angie, though. I think I genuinely enjoyed hanging out with her one-on-one. And you know, Mike, as Mike, don't mind his frequent typographical. And you might know Mike as Mike, don't mind his frequent typographical errors. You'll have to get used to him. Blaze doesn't talk like a normal person. Hello. He's a bit shy, but he'll open up to you in no time. Hi, Mike. I'm not sure, but I don't think we interacted much during our school time, did we? I don't think so. I don't think so. Mike didn't have too big of a presence, so I'm not surprised you didn't remember him. Only because he was shy, though. He was really good at sports. If he had been less timid, he would have likely been very popular. You three seem close. Were you friends back in school? I didn't remember seeing them hanging out together. Kind of. It was Angie's fault. Don't make it sound like a bad thing. I noticed that Blaze and Mike were always hung out alone, so I befriended them. We ended up hanging out frequently, and our friendship lasted beyond school. I wasn't good at making friends. I probably would have been fine alone, but it was nice to have people I could share my thoughts with. It was, by the way, also Angie's idea to create this group reunion chat. Mike and I ended up being dragged into it. Angie tends to be pretty disorganized, so I figured they'd need me to handle the administrative side. And I guess reforging contacts, just in case they'd come in handy later, isn't a bad idea either. I joined because I was hoping that I could get to know my classmates properly since I missed out on that when I was still in school. I noticed that you became much more outgoing recently, Mike. That's great! So, what have you all been up to since leaving school? Just gonna adjust the mic a little bit here. Just a little bit. Just so you... There we go. I'll start. This might come as a bit of a surprise, but I've been working in software development. That was a surprise indeed. Angie was very open about herself to anyone who would listen, but I'd never heard of her being into tech. I personally think there's no reason to keep your love for programming secret back then, Angie. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't anything bad at all. Oh, well, I just thought it would make me seem weird or something. Well, my past suspicions are sometimes being confirmed, unfortunately. There are some colleagues and clients at my company that make snarky comments. They're just being poo-poo heads, don't mind them. Yeah, we all know how skilled you are at what you do. Thanks, guys! I'm glad I was able to talk about my hobby with you two back then, at least. That was probably the reason why we got so close in the first place. Can you imagine my surprise, Amy, when Blaze came up to me out of the blue and told me that he knew that I was into programming? I totally thought he was about to blackmail me. What? Turns out he's just really smart and wanted to confirm his suspicions. It didn't make sense to keep it a secret from Blaze and Mike after that. So I just poured my heart out about all the nerdy stuff I couldn't talk about with anyone else to them. Bit off topic, but that emoji you used gives me heartburn. Yeah, it looks quite a bit odd. I think it looks cute. Anyway, you're next, Mike. You'll be surprised to hear what Mike has been up to, Amy. Actually, how about you guess first? I didn't know Mike at all, so I wasn't sure how I was supposed to guess his current job. All I knew about him was that he was into sports back in school. Something in sports? I knew you'd guess that.
it's probably a bit of a weird jump from sports, but I work with animals. I enjoyed sports in school, but I also really liked biology. I also always felt less awkward around animals than humans, so I ended up studying zoology and became a keeper.
That's really cool. So you work at a zoo?
Yeah, it's really fun. I actually forgot to account for that. I'd have to work with other people even when working at a zoo. But my coworkers are really cool. Thanks to them, I became a bit more sociable. Which is why I hope I can get to know my classmates properly now. Anyway, I probably wrote too much. Your turn, Blaze. Blaze's story is probably more interesting.
I see. My time has come then. I knew early on that I wanted to study and practice law. I figured it would be an adequate challenge and proved to be a fulfilling career path. After some research, I concluded that one of the best options for me was Yale University in the United States of America. It was a fairly low acceptance rate, but I wasn't too worried. Currently, I'm in my last semester. Do you have any further questions? That sounds great. What is America like? Well, it's hard to generalize as this is a very big country, but what impressed me was the contrast between the big cities and the more rural areas of America. I also really like spending time at the parks. It's very pleasant. I forgot to ask earlier, but have you made any friends here? I'd love to know them. Have you made any friends there? I'd love to get to know them. Yeah.
He's not replying. That's probably a reply in and of itself.
Blaze did always have trouble making friends because of how unapproachable he's made himself. I don't need any friends in America. I can just hang out online with you. Oh, that's sweet. Blushy face.
You know, Amy, Blaze may seem unfriendly and pedantic, but he's actually very nice. He's always helped me with anything I need help with, and not just with studying.
Yeah, he's a bit of a sundir. Am I saying that right? Is that the right word? Sundir? Sundir. I should read more. Sorry. What is a sundir? You know, someone who seems cold or harsh, but gets warm and kind as you get to know them.
The one who says, "It's not like I like you or anything, Baka."
I would never say that. Sure. I wasn't following this conversation at all. The replies just make me more confused. Anyway, what about you, Amy? What have you been doing? Nothing as interesting as you three. I'm working at a convenience store to bridge time until I'm sure what I want to know to do long term. No worries. I'm sure you'll figure it out soon enough.
Yeah, it took me some thinking to find out that I wanted to be a keeper. There's no rush.
I wouldn't recommend wasting too much time either, though. But I guess there's nothing wrong with taking your time to make sure that you choose the right career path for you. They were a bit of an odd bunch, but they all seemed like very nice people overall. Well, Blaze seemed a bit stuck up, but I trust Angie's and Mike's assessments of him. They knew him way longer than I did. Oh, my stomach is rumbling. Right, I still hadn't eaten anything since I got home. I'll be AFK for a bit. I'm gonna make myself something to eat. See you in a bit. Bye!
I should get something too. Be back in a bit.
A software developer, a zookeeper, and a lawyer. They all had chosen really interesting career paths. I can't help but feel bad about my lack thereof. I have no idea about programming. It seems too tough for me anyway, so I guess that wouldn't work for me. I'm allergic to animal hair, so zookeeper would likely be out of the question. I'm also not smart enough to become a lawyer. What am I good at? Stocking shelves? Oh well. I'll figure it out eventually. Maybe they can give me some tips later. For now, I'll warm up some leftover risotto. That should improve my mood. Good choice. How late is it now? 3 a.m. There's still some time left until Liv wakes up. I wonder how well she remembers Angie, Blaze, and Mike. Now that I think about it, how come all three of them are still awake? Maybe I should ask them when I get back to my laptop. Here we go. I'm back with food and a renewed motivation. As am I, Amy. Are my headphones broken? The music sounds weird. Huh. Oh well. I was planning on buying new ones too anyway. The music is still listenable. It just sounds a bit distorted. I'll manage. Let's see what they've been chatting about while I was gone. Apparently nothing. They probably have their own group chat. Right. Oh, right. I wanted to ask them how come they're still awake. I'm back! Welcome back!
Welcome back.
Hello again. I've been wondering, how come you're all still awake? It's still early evening here in America, so it's a time zone difference in my case. I have tomorrow off, and I usually like staying up late when I don't have to wake up early the next day. I also might have had too much coffee and can't sleep.
I had a late shift at the zoo, currently transitioning to being a night keeper.
That's an embarrassing typo. This is why I tell you to double check your messages before sending them.
Hung out with some of the owls. They're chill. Not a fan of the scorpions though. They're active at night and scurry around.
Scorpions! It's the same for me. I also work a late shift and stay up a few hours after getting home. Main reason why I stay up after my night shift is so that I can chat with Liv before going to sleep. Liv gets up very early, so that is usually the best time to catch up with her online. She probably got Blaze's invitation as well. I assume she'll join as well when she's awake. Hey, I have an idea! How about we each tell an embarrassing secret? That way we can get to know each other better. That sounds like a dumb idea. I'm with you, Blaze. That's a dumb idea.
I'm not sure about this.
I don't think I'd be able to come up with anything interesting. And I also didn't feel like sharing secrets with half strangers. Good for you, Amy. Good for you. Even if they are classmates.
I guess it's fine. Please don't cry.
Alright, if Mike thinks it's okay, then I guess I'll play along. No worries, Amy. You could just pass or tell us something general about yourself. We don't know you that well, so that'll be totally fine. Hugs! Alright then. I guess I'll just tell him something random about myself rather than an actual secret. Alright, I'll go first since I proposed it. You already know about my love for programming when I was at school, so that's not much of a secret anymore. Instead, I'll tell you something else. This is probably not something unnormal, but I sometimes feel jealous of other people. I guess I don't like this about myself because I don't want to have like negative thoughts about others. This especially happens when people openly share things they're passionate about. Probably because I never got to talk about my hobby openly.
Thank you for sharing.
Don't worry, feeling jealous is somewhat normal. I agree. How you deal with these feelings is what's important.
You go next, Blaze. I'm still thinking.
Alright then. I'll share with you the worst day of my life.
Dramatic pause.
I got a C once in grade school.
I guess coming from Blaze, this is a big confession.
You'll never understand my pain.
Whatever, I'm next. Blaze and Angie already know, but it might be a surprise for you, Amy. When I was in school, I did sports and took care of what I ate. But since finishing school, I kind of abandoned sports and I'm not as caring about eating healthy. So I've gained some weight, meaning I don't look much how I used to. The keeper job is physically demanding, but not enough to level out my love for food.
I don't think it's really a problem as long as it doesn't affect your health in a major way. Yeah, and there are definitely women out there who are into chubby but underneath muscular guys. Ooh, like me. I'm Amy and I clearly have a thing for Mike. Ooh. Anyway, your turn, Amy. Mike working at the zoo reminded me of something. It's not much of a secret though. I'd never be able to work at a zoo because of my animal hair allergy. Bless me. But on top of that, I'm also allergic to iguanas. How do you even find out something like that? It's a long story. I'd love to hear about it when we meet in person for the reunion. Anyway, my turn again. I guess I could tell you somewhat of a follow-up to my last admission. There was one time when I felt especially jealous. It was someone I knew who was into sprinting. She was really passionate about it, and it was the topic of most of our conversations. My attempts at changing the topic were usually unsuccessful. She was really good at running and definitely would have become a successful athlete. It was a bit painful to listen to her speak about her hobbies openly while being reminded that I couldn't talk about my own. But I feigned a smile every time we talked, and I tried to not let it faze me. Eventually, I had to find a way to vent so I wouldn't explode, though. Well, I did something that I'm definitely not proud of. I ended up putting tacks in her running shoes. Oh, that was unexpected. I always saw Angie as a really kind person. I never expected her to resort to that, but I guess everyone has their dark side. And it seemed like Angie was regretting it. I guess you do stupid stuff when you're younger. I assume it's my turn then. This time I'll recount something that might be more interesting to you. Don't forget to split up your messages so it's easier to read. Alright then, I'll try. When I was very young, I knew someone who went on my nerves more than anyone else. He was lazy, got bad grades, was vulgar, and overall an unpleasant person. And he always followed me around, trying to befriend me, no matter how much I declined. Until something happened on a school trip. We had to go hiking on a mountain, and I, being not very fit, hung back. And since the boy, to my detriment, wanted to hang out with me, he hung back as well. He kept passionately talking my ear off about something irrelevant. I don't even remember what exactly. Well, he distracted himself so much that he slipped and toppled over the edge. He managed to grab a root that was protruding off the cliffside. Apparently, due to shock, he wasn't able to cry out for help. All he could do was grasp in desperation. The teacher and the other kids ahead of us hadn't heard what happened. They just kept walking on. There were several things I could have done at that moment. I could have grabbed his hand or could have cried out to the teacher. But I didn't do anything. All I could think of at that moment was how little would be lost if that boy were to disappear. And so I continued walking, pretending that I didn't notice. The boy was found dead at the foot of the mountain not too long after. The teacher shouldered the responsibility as she was supposed to watch us, but I knew it was my fault. I still remember his face when he mouthed for help without getting a single sound out, tears in his eyes. Oh, Blaze, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Oh, that's heavy.
Def a step up from the story about getting a C.
Is this really something he should be openly sharing with me? This is very serious. Yeah, this is weird, dude. I guess it wasn't like Blaze to actively killed him. And Blaze was still young, but that's still a very extreme story. Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Alright, my turn again.
Can I click on these other ones, actually?
My secret is work-related, so please don't tell anyone. Don't want to get fired.
Okay, I can't click on anything else outside of there. Alright, sure. Wasn't like I knew where he worked anyway. Yeah, that's true. Just a zoo. Though, I wonder if he should tell me secrets that could cost him his job.
I oftentimes stay late at the zoo after most of the others have left. The ones working the night shift usually don't notice.
Yeah, that sounds relatively harmless so far.
I'd often skip dinner when staying at the zoo, so I'd get hungry at night. So eventually, the intrusive thoughts started. I'd start wondering what the animals at the zoo would taste like. Did you know that seals look chunky, but their meat has less than 2% fat? Also lots of protein. There are also indigenous people who eat parrots. Also heard of people eating tigers somewhere. Anyhow, these thoughts are troubling. I see the animals at the zoo as friends and family, and thinking about eating friends and family is troubling.
That kind of weirded me out. The longer this secret sharing is going on, the more unsympathetic everyone seems. The more uncomfortable I'm becoming. But I guess that's what happens when people start sharing their darkest secrets. Oh, it's 4 a.m. already. I should go take a shower. I'll be gone for a bit. Alright, see you later. Huh. Weird. Very weird. Very, very weird. The more I think about it, the more I wonder if what they wrote is true. Angie bullied and physically hurt someone. Blaze let someone die, and Mike is thinking about eating the animals he works with. Those are pretty shocking stories. I agree. But would they be sharing them with an almost stranger like me? Now, see, like, that stuff is, like, way too specific to just be making up out of the blue. Like, that's... Were they playing a prank on me? Oh, we all know what this game is. They're not playing a prank, right? We know what's coming. Whew, that was nice. So, do I dare open the chat again? I suspect things have become pretty awkward after those confessions. Seems like no one had written any new messages since I left. Hey, Amy's back!
Welcome back.
Hello again. What? How could they tell I was back? Full chat doesn't have any online, away, or offline indications. Alright, with Amy being back, how about we continue? I volunteer to go next. I'd like to share the aftermath of what I experienced on the trip. Oh, the music is changing. I trust you're familiar with the concept of natural selection. It's a term popularized by Charles Darwin. The term natural selection is oftentimes used mockingly whenever someone hurts themselves while doing something unintelligent. Sometimes said unintelligent actions even result in death. The boy's death I talked about might fit that category. That got me thinking. What if instead of leaving it up to chance, you were to force said natural selection? Which would make it less natural, of course, but if I were to do that, I wouldn't choose the effective randomly. I would use myself as a standard measure and filter out the ones who are by a big margin inferior to me. I'd very likely be a good judge of a person's capabilities and whether they are justified in living. That is a psychopath's way of looking at things, Blaze. You may be a psychopath. So I gave it a go, and it was pretty successful. Yep, definitely a psychopath. I would research them, come up with a challenge, and warn them of the consequences that would await them if they were to fail. And I thought of pretty clever consequences, if I might add. Swimmers who didn't succeed drowned with their arms and feet tied. Singers got their vocal cords ripped out. Cooks were cooked alive. Despite the challenges being rather easy, in my opinion at least, few survived. The ones who did survive rose to new heights. So you're like Jigsaw in the Saw movies. Should I be talking like this? Because that's how the actor sounds. The actor in the Saw movies, he sounds like this. And then when he's the puppet, he'd like to play a game. Do you know Baremi, that bowler who became famous for never missing a strike this year? There was also some commotion around him missing 2 fingers out of nowhere. You have me to thank for that. He was to have one of his fingers smashed into a pulp with a bowling ball for every strike he missed. He did unfortunately miss 2. The first because he didn't believe my threat. The second because he was too afraid of what would happen the next time he'd miss. Quitting bowling wasn't an option, of course. He'd lose more fingers if he did that. Smash, smash, smash. Using a bowling ball was a bit inefficient, but it did get the point across.
Oh, nice.
A bit brutal, but if it works, it works. What kind of twisted prank is this? I'll go next. This has something to do with the girl who loved running that I told you about. Well, putting tacks in her shoes wasn't the only thing I did. No matter what I did, she wouldn't give up running, and I tried everything. I put laxatives in her food before an important race. I spread nasty rumors about her, like how she smelled weird, and when she trained, like how weird she smelled when she trained because she sweated so much. Eventually, I found one permanent solution to the problem. I invited her to a secluded part of the school building where no one would bother us, and I pushed her down the steps. She wasn't too badly hurt, she had only twisted her ankle. Fortunately, I had prepared her sledgehammer in advance. Oh, that's good thinking, not Amy, you're not Amy, you're Gigi now. I'm just calling you Gigi. I forget your name, but the music changed again. It was pretty heavy, but I managed to lift it and shattered her legs. I brought the hammer down over and over. I could still hear the crunching mixed with her screams. I loved the look on her face when she realized that she'd never be able to run again. She, of course, tried to accuse me, but no one would believe her. There was no evidence, and I was well liked by the teachers and the students. So she was called a liar who was jealous of me and probably just got into an accident and tried to frame me. That was when I got a taste for destroying other people's dreams. I felt similarly ecstatic when I stabbed the eardrums of a composer and peeled off the skin of a model. Okay. I'm getting nostalgic. Okay. I can relate. You can relate.
True, very relatable.
You can relate. This is beyond being a bad prank. This was sick.
Alright, let me tell you a story as well. At the zoo, there was a penguin that I was really close to. Hung out with him regularly, played a lot with him. Really cute. Was probably my closest friend aside from Angie and Blaze. Love you guys. He also really seemed to like me back. None of the keepers were as close to him as me. Whenever I entered his pen, he'd run up to me right away. He was also always sad when I had to leave. I'd have been very sad if anything ever happened to that penguin. One night, I stays in the penguin's pen. He had convinced me to sleep over. I was watching him sleep peacefully when the hunger came. I did it. I killed him and I ate him. Right then and there. Raw. I was crying.
Good.
But he tasted so good.
Bad.
Then I moved on to a tapir, also one of my best friends. Then a tiger baby I myself had helped deliver.
What the heck?
I ate them all while crying. But the sadder their death was, the better they tasted.
What?
Eventually, my curiosity transitioned from the animals to my coworkers. How sad would I be if I ate them? How tasty would they be?
Yeah. Alright, this is screwed up. Very screwed up. They all have disturbing imaginations, and I want no part of it. Also, what is up with my headphones? I keep hearing these weird sounds. Oh, right, I just remembered. Amy, was this your address? Location. What? Why do you have this? I made sure to research everyone's address to be able to find a good meeting spot for the in-person event that most people would not object to.
How about we visit Amy now that we are friends?
That sounds like a great idea. I'm a bit far away as I'm in America. It might take me a few minutes. Alright, I've had enough. They're seriously creeping me out. There's no reason to keep talking to them while no other classmates have joined. Maybe we can make a new group chat without those three. A message from Liv? I guess she's awake already. Hey, Amy. Hi, Liv. Have you also received a group chat invite from Blaze? They're planning a class reunion, but they're also being very weird. An invite? Can't say that I got one. Didn't Blaze say he sent out an invite to all of our past classmates? That's odd. But hey, this reminds me of an urban legend I read recently. It's about some scary group chat message stuff. Let me send you a link. There she goes again with those urban legends and occult stories. She really can't get enough of them. Twitter.com/rockratgames. Ooh. Ooh, wait, is that like an actual... Let's look. /rockratgames. Yeah, it's the developer's Twitch. Or not Twitch, Twitter. That's great. I love that. Not exactly in the mood for scary stories, but I'll humor Liv. Someone sent a message into the group chat. We're here! We're here! We're here.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, what? No! Oh! Oh, what is that? Is that it? Oh, they actually showed up at my house. Oh, what is the artwork there? That's crazy. Oh, man. That was good. That was a good short. That was a nice, like, good short game. I like that there was a button to, like, kind of, you know,
input my own chats and stuff. I will say I wish it was a little longer. I would love for a little more stuff to go into it, because I mean, like, it was messed up, don't get me wrong, but I was expecting it to go like way darker. But still very dark, very good. I really enjoyed that, and I love the art at the end here. That was really awesome. And the music is also like really getting kind of messed up too in the credits. Oh man, good job to everyone here. 4 out of 5. Give it a 4 out of 5. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. All right, well, thank you all so much for watching. Have a good night.